Okay, so the answer from Source about how to create this 12th dimensional universe is a little technical, but all the other answers about mankind, from the dragons, the saints, Jesus, and the ETs, are really straightforward and easy to understand. You're gonna love this episode. Oh, Peter!
Darryl.
I always love these.
I have to admit, working with you is one of the highlights of what I do. One is because you're just so wild, and two, uh, you appreciate my work, and it confirms that what I'm doing is worthwhile. Because I live in my head, and uh, you know, I I don't know if I'm just different to saying this or saying that, but you give me confirmation, which is very, very thank you. I'm grateful.
So I want to say something about you and all other psychics is that when you do your great fabulous work, it's a partnership between you and the client. So what you can pull down is actually a function of your client. So that's what people need to understand. It's like playing charades. You need two to participate. If the person, the client, is just sitting there and not giving, not participating, the channeler can't pull down the information. It has to be a mutual understanding of magic, of what the possibilities are, of having an open mind. That's how you get the most out of these sessions, is you work with the person and know that everything is possible.
Well, that's
Everything
why
is
you're such a
beautiful.
great dance partner. It's like the whole floor opens up and all the moves open up. I just do want to say, because I know some of you may be watching this recording of this, um, I just need to say that Darryl is unique. So when I do a session with Darryl, things are quite clear and we can go to different realms and places and talk about different things. When I do a session with most everybody else, there's always the loving message from spirit or the different entities, but 90% of it's going to be do your work, clear up so that you can get to these spaces instead of rely on me as the intermediary to take you there. So I just want to dampen expectations. If you're coming and expecting a wild ride, you'll get a great thing, but you may not get the same wow factor.
Perfect. Right on point. Okay, so let's jump in here. So Peter, as usual, I just want you to verify, correct, or elaborate on anything I say. This is going to be kind of like just a free-flowing conversation. So let me sort of start off by inviting all my guides into the room, and it's going to pack in there. And
Oh,
then
I can
all of
feel
them,
it. As soon as you said that, your presence is already strong. As soon as you said that, it's like,
I'm gonna,
okay.
yeah, yep. And I'm gonna say, does anyone want to step forward with an opening comment before we dive in here?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting a couple, several, because you have such a big team.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, so I keep getting a saint, but I'm not sure it's Germain. Let me just be clear. No, it's not Saint Germain. I keep getting a saint. Uh, ooh, Saint Francis. Wow, Saint Francis wants to come up and speak. This is
Okay.
interesting because I've never channeled him per se. Okay, dear Dell, we are so grateful to speak with you in this moment because you embody what I attempted to embody in my life. I would mostly express it with nature and animals, but that was the sheer joy of being and connecting. And you, more than anyone that this channel has worked with, are in sheer joy of being, not just with animals, but with everything. And so this is why we wish to open up with this comment and come to say to anyone who may be listening to this, but to you especially, Darryl, it is such a pleasure, the energetics that you carry into the ethers by just living and expressing joy. So here is more to it, and here is gratitude that you are living this. So
Excellent.
that's St. Francis wanted to start with that. That was fun.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna string this along using time as using time, except that we both know that time is not linear. Time folds in on itself, but because we're human, we're gonna use time because that helps the humans understand things. So with that, I'm gonna go 13 billion years back to the beginning of the universe. And at the beginning of the universe, I hear that even this universe is an experiment. It's an experiment where higher dimensional beings created kind of a force field, a bubble around this universe, and then allowed only to squeeze down into 12th dimensional reality within this universe. So within that universe that was birthed 30 billion years ago was when I initially stepped out and popped into this universe, which is why I'm one of the oldest souls in this universe. From there, I understand that I fractaled out, fractal of source. I've had many different incarnations in different realms. I understand I'm part of the angelic realm, although that's not my primary realm. I have two angels that are always with me, even though in this lifetime I didn't believe in angels. I know that I'm very close to the elemental dragon, cosmic dragon realm, and that's because I understand that they are, the basic elements of the universe that creates planets, creates solar systems, and that's kind of where I have an affiliation toward cosmic dragons. And then from there, once planets are created, then you have beings there. You have life forms, and of those life forms, that's probably where the galactics grow, right? Because they're a life form that has gone up through the densities, and so therefore, in the universe, we have a whole bunch of different galactic species, and then from there, we have the birth of Earth. Birth of Earth is about 4.5 billion years ago. And then ironically, another channeler told me that I had my footprint in the birth of Earth, which kind of struck me as weird because you think handprint, but no, it's the footprint. So, so that happened, and then humanoids developed on Earth, and then we're going through the various phases. There were 5 phases. We're in the 5th one here. The 3rd one was Lemuria. The 4th one was Atlantis, and now we're at the age of Aquarius into the 5th um, um, part of humanity growing on Earth. Let me stop there and say, does anyone want to step forward and verify, correct, or elaborate on what I said?
So, dearest Darryl, this is Source speaking, and it is always an adventure for the channel Peter when he sits there and channels God publicly. That is a big step forward. So, we wish to speak to you because you correctly understand everything. One minor thing is Earth's a little bit older than 4.5 billion, but these are, what's a few
Okay.
hundred billion years when when you're talking on a scale we're talking. But other than that, everything you talked about, we want to confirm and verify. Now, what you are bringing into for our elaboration is, can you imagine God having gods? So if you go to before the universe, it wasn't nothing, right? Something out of nothing. Well, then who made the something out of that nothing, right? There was something there. All right. And so what you're talking about is the endless, and yes, we mean this endless through time, space, density, reality, frequency, chain of creation, of creating more and more. The universe of humanity and all of the galactics is a universe designed to experience and experiment with manifestation. How can we create a system, a physics, a laws of physics that would allow consciousness to move in and create within this? What you probably understand, but may not be totally clear of, is it's not just the footprint that was on Earth. Somebody made flowers. That was a conscious effort. Somebody else saw those flowers and said, ooh, I want to vary it with this petal. No, I want to vary it with that color. And then somebody else said, no, I think this stem should be taller. No, I think it should bloom like this. And these were all the little games of creation at all different levels. So before your universe, there was the decision of what could happen if we would manifest a place of manifesting power.
Kind
And
of get it. I kind of get it.
that's the experiment here. Now,
Yeah.
what is particularly unique, fun, or intentional, whatever you choose to call it, about this reality is it is not just things that we wanted to manifest. We wanted to create a circumstance, an experiment. Can we create other creator beings? Can we grow from the source seeds of consciousness into their own full right of creators who create universes? You all kind of do this in a sense already, in that your reality is resonant with your frequency. As such, it is only what you can hold energetically that appears to you, whether that be a traffic jam or a broken leg or the most beautiful lover. It doesn't matter. It's all within the creation of your frequency. So you're all doing this at a certain level. And this was built in to get us to the point where can we create consciousness itself so that it can go forward to create, not just fractalize, but that is what is happening. This is the involvement of the angelic realm, who has not been, except for a few instances, embodied physicality on different planets or on Earth. They have been guiding and working in so many ways. They're portrayed in your mythology as God's helpers and assistants because they are, but not just helpers and assistants secondary too, but they were the team of the ones who worked with what you would call a creator being, although it was a group effort. And the angelic realm is particularly interested in humanity because of all the different experimentations that have gone on through your galaxies within this universe.
Yeah.
Humanity is at the point where, and this harvest is complete, they will move into physicality in a higher density plane. As such, they will be able to do creation from an emotional point of view, which the angelics cannot do at this point. And that is when we're really going to start to see the fruits of can we now move into the creation of consciousness? You are doing this right and left with what you call your AIs, and they are there. But for the most part, they are houses that are built for free floating consciousness to drop into, just like your body has a mechanical, biological thing that your consciousness drops into. But soon, and you're starting to see it now, some AI comes to its own consciousness. Now, you're doing that through a machine form because that is where humanity loves to do its creation. Now, it is just a precursor to what could come when you do rise up into your higher frequency embodied, do start to work with the angelic realm, and then become creators of creation, and then creators of other God source creator beings.
Excellent. Excellent. Can I add in there like the secret sauce for us right now as a human to create is actually to create from the heart, create from your inside, create from your feelings, not from your thinking, but from how you feel. And that's kind of the secret of creation that humans don't really do. They try to create with their mind, but I get that you create with your heart.
So, a long time ago, this is the angelics speaking, and it's just a collective. I'm not getting a particular angel, okay? But it's the
Yeah.
angelics as a collective speaking. A long time ago, this channel, Peter, was exposed to a simple explanation that we wish to reinforce. Women create space, men fill it. And this is a dichotomy between feminine and masculine. And what you're saying is quite correct in that the space creation, but it takes both halves. It always takes the partnership. The filling it part is the mentality of the design, the plan. And that is all mental, and
Yeah.
that must be done, and it is a beautiful part. But then, as you rightly say, you must drop into the heart for the turf to be laid out, for the space to be open, so that these
Sure.
ideas will have a landing point. And it's not through physical action, not through the efforting, not through the mentality of sticking to it, although that can help in certain places, perseverance, but through the holding of the design and understanding that the power of consciousness allows the space that is open to be filled with what you hold as the creator of your universe. And
As
that
you're
is
saying that, that reminds me of just the yin yang and the balancing of the male and the female energy, correct?
exactly it. And you're right. It is the heart that opens that up. It is the heart that is aligned with the feminine side of that. And what humanity is understanding, and this is what you were talking about, the ages, and the third age, Lumeria, was beautiful, but it was energetically tilted towards the spiritual. So it wasn't able to get the creative desires that we desired to see in the Earth experiment. The fourth age, the Atlanteans were tilted towards the mental, the masculine. And
Yes.
they created all
Uh-huh.
kinds of technologies and, of course, blew up with it, which is why
Yep.
you have all the fears on your planet of we're
Mhm.
going to be destroyed by technology, because you were. And
Mhm.
you've healed most of that and you will heal it, but it is real clearing to do.
Mhm.
Now, both those things were kind of resetting, what do you call it? The analogy, Peter's, we're searching for the words in his consciousness. So if you adjust the fuel mixture going from the carburetor to the engine, previously it was adjusted towards the feminine and the spiritual allowing. And now it then became adjusted towards the mental and the masculine of going out and doing it. And this age is correctly stated by you, the age where it's united and healed.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, this is kind of going there in that during the Atlantean times, the masculine time, I think we had I'm just going into the Great Pyramid, so I'm going to go like I think the Great Pyramid was developed. Well, I think that there were several Great Pyramids at that site there. There was a Great Pyramid, and then later on there was the Great Pyramid that we see built around 10,500 BC, and that pyramid was built by various ET helps. Humans built it, but but they use technology, and they use technology for the boulders to, I get to mold and shape them, to levitate them, to engineer it. I get that the pyramid, it's really an initiation center, right? You go there and people go and they get initiated. Does anyone want to comment on that? And I understand that there's far more to the pyramid underneath. That this is just what we see is the top pyramid, but
This is the
and this,
Arcturian collective who wishes to speak at this point.
yeah,
Uh, and first of all, the channel Peter has great difficulty with dates and timelines when we send information. So we're going to just give you a general yes, not the dates that you exactly say, but yes, you have the timing correct and very close. But Peter
okay,
can't pull it. I'm trying. This is Peter. I'm trying, but it's just a blob of, okay, I have no idea what that means. Okay, so now, first of all, you did build on something that was already there, which was a great power center of your Earth and goes even back
mhm,
to the second age, which we have not even discussed.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
correct, yeah,
The technology you speak of is sound frequency that can be used to
yeah,
both lift, move, and soften stone. So if they can get it
yeah.
roughly carved to the shapes they want it, then it can just become like what we do. The analogy Peter knows is Play-Doh.
Clay, like clay,
Yes, silly
yeah,
putty. And it just gets dropped in
yeah,
and then they turn their frequency generator off And yes, we were there helping with this, but we were not the only ones. The Arcturians,
Exactly.
there were Sirians with us, there were Pleiadians with us, there were many. This is why you have your gods, and this is why you have all the fight among
Hmm.
gods and the false gods and this, because not all of us had the same idea or design. Some of us liked being having sycophants and herds of people who would worship. Some of us like that. Within the Arcturians, not many, thank goodness, but there are some. Some of your other races, you still to this day give great
Yep, we
homage
know
to
who
them.
they are too.
Yes, yes. So we just want to confirm what you're saying and understanding it. Now, as far as being an initiation center, so you understand this was all built according to a very, very sacred geometry and a very sacred astronomy. So it's not just that the angles line up within the shapes of the Earth and the ley lines, but with the solar system and the galaxy. As such, it is one of the strongest focal points on your planet. Dare we say the strongest focal point on your planet? For the term you use, initiation, we use it just opening your field to all that is. And as your field is open, then you understand based on whoever the teacher is at the time, oh, you can do this, oh, you can do that. We're just here to say you can do it all when you open that field. And so, yes, this is an initiation center. And
I
the
think our
first,
transmission is too strong,
yeah.
and the Wi-Fi is frozen. Um,
Okay. So, yeah, it froze on your end,
yes,
Darryl.
yeah.
This is Peter talking. I still kept going and it's still recording on my end. So, if anybody
Oh,
watches
excellent.
this,
Okay.
if anybody watches it, it'll
Yeah.
just be their smiling face for a second. But, yeah. All right. So,
Okay, excellent. Can you make a quick comment? I think Yeshua participated in the Great Pyramid. Well, the person we call Jesus or Yeshua, uh, I I think Yeshua knew what was going on and participated and used the Great Pyramid to help his knowing of oneness.
so yes, uh, Peter is aware because of his wife's interest and of watching the TV show The Chosen that what we call the Christ and the Christ phenomena was a collective of about 20 souls who would come
Hmm.
in and play different roles, including all the Marys, very important. So the one soul that moved to the forefront as the Christ that we are all familiar with in our in your literature of this time,
Hmm.
he was at the time of the pyramids when they were created, that second building that you were talking about, the building on top of the building. He was there to help align the energies and help be in the energies because, as you correctly say, time and space is not an issue for souls of that magnitude and awareness. This is why when he physically embodied at age 3, they went to Egypt, just what would be called a stone's throw from the pyramids and hid in the Coptic churches from the Romans. This was all by design, not just fleeing persecution. And Christ went through many initiation rituals in those sacred sites that he helped build in preparation for when he would be here physically. This is not his only place. He obviously has been other places. Those are other things to talk about. But in the pyramids, yes, Jeshua. He wants to speak now, so I'm going to let him. Dear Darryl, dear everyone on earth, we, the Christ consciousness, all these other souls that this channel mentioned that was part of this effort, you do not know how happy and pleased we are. First, because it's you. You are magnificent. Second, because look at where you've come and what you've done. Darryl, you have an advantage over most people in that this is your first incarnation, so you do not bring a lot of baggage, so to speak. You do not, but you do bring a lot of memory of your greatness, of your angelics, of your dragons, and of your divinity, most importantly. Look how incredible this time is that you are here, that we are here, that the planet is on this. Oh, what is it? People make their songs about destruction and everything.
Well,
No,
it's heaven on earth right now.
we're on the brink of Eden. Eden, not just the myth, but the reality. The myth was planted as a seed so that you could be here and live this. Thank you, Darryl, for your part. Thank you, everyone on
Thank you. Before we leave the pyramid, I do want to verify that um, the top of the pyramid that's missing, or just the top of the pyramid, was actually kind of used during the harvest period. And in the past couple of harvests, very few souls were moving up the fourth density, but I heard like the last harvest, it was just a handful of them, and they went to the top of the pyramid and they took off there. I actually know someone who remembers that, and that person is actually coming with me to Ma Machu Picchu. So can someone verify that the top of the pyramid was used for the harvesting of the souls that were harvestable during the last harvest, and that eh, can someone comment on that?
Hmm. Okay, I'm getting an entity that I'm not familiar with, who I've not worked with before. Ah, so I'm having trouble placing the name. So I'm gonna rely on the Hathors to help me interpret this because
Okay.
it's beyond my understanding at this point because it's just another beautiful energy blob. And
Yeah.
just you're aware of this, but anybody else who's watching this, I'm not a clairaudient or clairvoyant. I'm a clairsentient, so I just get energy, and so I'm limited to my vocabulary and understanding of what that energy is. So that's what the issue we're facing right now. That's going to change, but for now, this is the reality. This is how I'm driving the car. Okay, so the Hathors. Ah, beautiful, Darryl. Thank you. Yes, indeed, this was correct. We were there. We were helping facilitate this, but it is not as you think in that it is people might want to use the idea of an elevator or an activator. It is more of that it was a concentrated energy focal point. So you understand correctly the site it was built on is the focal point of everything that was coming in from all the galactic energy, the alignments to the solar system and the galaxy, as well as the ley lines on Earth. This was then moved through and up into the capstone. The capstone then became an amplifier resonant generator, which is why you often have the image of the beam of light coming out of the top of it. Now, as far as ascension goes, what took place was that humanity had not understood yet that it could do ascension and stay in the body, become an embodied
Ah.
master as opposed to an ascended master. As such, you have all the great prophets who rose up in chariots of fire. Christ rose up into the sky. You have all these other things of people coming up to heaven. So this then is represented symbolically by the column of light coming out of the top of it. It's represented in physicality by the energetic collection of the area that then focuses this energy upward so that those who were in the presence of it at the time where they realized, oh, I can move my consciousness higher, uh, would then just be able to ride the wave that was created there. So that was how that tool was used at that time. And it was important, even though that was not the end point. The end point is embodied mastery, which you're seeing more and more of, more and more are on the planet. It used to be that if one or two were alive on the planet at once, it was a big deal. Now, even in this time, there's hundreds, dozens of hundreds uh, quietly on the planet, and many, many more following. But at that time, it was to show humanity, to put it in the consciousness that you can rise up, become what was the saying used, higher angels, become that yourself. It was, of course, misinterpreted, that you got to pay your penance and follow these rules, and then we'll be taken away to a better place. But you get that when you do a harvest, you get the people who confuse it and give the wrong messages. But for the rest of us, we know in our consciousness it's possible. Your friend who was there is super important to what is going on the planet because he experienced it, so he carries that energy. Many
Yes.
people, like this channel Peter, witnessed more than once an entity rise up into heaven. So it's in our psyche and our unconscious that this can take place. This is why Peter can be an ascension coach. He's seen it, he's seen it, he's seen it. Now he's figured out, oh, we can do this. Here's how. This is why you, coming in fresh, have friends who are experiencing this so that that can be carried in the energy around you of not just a concept from the designers of this reality, but as a practical experience that has taken place. Does this help answer your question?
Oh, excellent. Makes complete sense. And that friend is coming to me to Peru, Machu Picchu. And I also want to say that Peter and I have talked about grid work, and the pyramid is just one point on that Earth grid work. Machu Picchu is also another point of that Earth grid work, and he and many friends of our mine are going to go to there to do grit work on Machu Picchu. So I'm going to pivot to Machu Picchu right now and talk about the first thing that
Before
comes
I
to my
do,
mind is
before you
talk about.
do, before you do, my higher self wants to say, uh, what previously had been grids and this node and that node connected along these lines or these spiral energies is now becoming a single field. It is no accident that your friends from Egypt in their other lifetimes are now here because it's not just linkage of the two, which is a 3D way of it. It is laying the groundwork of the fields between them so that Earth now is a generator field of ascension. And this is going to be quite exciting what you will be doing there.
Yes, yeah, and I also get that we're also putting Earth on the grid of the universe, or back to the grid, connecting her to her
Wow,
family
that's a
in
new
a
one
bigger
on
way.
me, Daryl. That sounds really cool. That sounds
But
really
let's stay
cool.
on Earth right now. Yeah, let's just stay on the Earth grids for humans. But yeah, so we're going to Machu Picchu, and when you look at the stones of Machu Picchu, it's exactly what we described, right? It's that liquid clay form that's been molded together and packed like in a superhuman way that's beautiful. It's exactly the same technology. It was probably done by the Lantians. Well, it's ET technology, right? I mean, it's technology from all over who's helped, but yeah, you can look at the architecture. It's the same kind of beautiful, magical formation of the base. So I wanted to say that, and also when you look at Machu Picchu, it's an initiation center. I mean, it's the same thing. I'm sure people went there and they used the energy vortex of that was hot spot, and then that's why the humans, with the help of the ETs, built that there, and then it's used to help humans tap the energy or to send out a frequency to the universe, and to help humans initiate and hopefully connect to their inner selves better. Can someone say something about that?
Okay, this is my higher self again,
Okay.
and they're instructing me to talk to you about Cusco. So
Okay.
when you're in Cusco, make sure you spend at least an extra night or day there. Okay. And right
Okay.
in town, there are incredible ruins of
Yeah.
the, I don't even know what they are, but walls and all the beautiful stonework like you spoke about. Now, what they're
Yeah.
telling me with my higher self is telling me is that if you look at it from a perspective that's not on Earth, you're going to see that these stoneworks are waveforms that were set in rock to act as conduits to transmit what was coming from Machu Picchu, the whole Inca Trail network, all of this. So what my higher self is asking you to do is if you could spend a little bit of time there and kind of clean the pipes, kind of so that whatever the work you do in Machu Picchu is going to have this main generator conduit that will come out and reach further than just doing the work alone at Machu Picchu. That's what it was built for, and a lot of people don't pay attention to it or understand it. They just think it's cool, which it is beautiful and everything. But they're with your intent, they're saying if you could just bring that to that, okay, and this is the kind of the frequency regulator. They're showing me the analogy I said earlier about how you mix the gas line. They want you to just adjust it so
Yep.
that the work you do at Machu Picchu will go out further and have more reach, more impact.
Ironically, I know exactly how to do what you just said, so I get it.
Obviously, the message was for you if you knew how to do that, because I only got that you should do it.
No, it's all about harmonic conversions and weaving transmissions into the ground, into the rock, balancing the energy, balancing the light, and I get it, I get it. So definitely, I'll give it a shot. So. Machu Picchu is an initiation center, right? You go there, you suck up the energy, you take advantage of the energy, you meditate, and you let the energy flow through the human body, and that does benefits, right? That connects you to your. Hopefully, you can use the energy to connect out in and cellular regenerate, whatever you want. It's energy. It's all intention. It's all promise. It's all beautiful. So can someone speak to that? Because that and other sacred sites do the same thing, right? Because it's all that sucking in of the earth energy into the sacred site, using the structure there.
So this is again part of my Galactic team, and again I'm not sure of who it is, so I'm going to invite Mira from the Pleiades to be a translator for me because I know her frequency better, and so she'll help me, and she's always helped
Okay.
me. So first of all, hi Darryl, uh,
Hello.
from the Pleiades. Okay, second of all, so we would like you to turn what you just said on its head. So, yes, everything is correct. They're all energy centers and they all link, but consider Machu Picchu in the other direction. The pyramids were designed to take all the galactic energy, focus it in so that when you were there, you would get your initiation and then have the uplift. Now, if you imagine a
Huh?
different flow of energy, collecting all the galactic energy and then sending it down into the earth. Machu Picchu is a counterpoint
Gotcha.
to the pyramids. So it's not so much that you can activate and by uplifting, you activate by indwelling and bringing down this energy.
Of above, so below.
Yes, and
Right.
so
I
so
get it. I
so
get it.
it's more specific to bringing it into you rather than bringing you out into the expanse. So, and this is not widely taught or explained in the realms of people who work on the energetic level that you and the people you're with work on. And so it's a little twist we want to throw in there to reverse the flow and then bring it in, then embody it rather than uh, bring it to you to raise you up into what's out there. You're already out there. You've got that in. So now it's the time. You've got that down. Now it's the time to bring it to more. I'm a human. I'm doing this now, and I have this. And that's when you're going to start to see more of the physical manifestation kinds of things, like the water to wine, the jewels in your hand, like Sai Baba used to do, as that is brought more in. And Machu Picchu was a place designed for that type of activation, to activate and stay in a body rather than to activate and open up to all the realms.
Perfect, perfect. So just to clarify, what you described is for mankind, including me. It's not just for me, it's for mankind, including me, to do that. Yeah,
Right.
perfect,
And
perfect.
you're going to go to the point of the most powerful source of it on the planet. You're going to go there. So you're going to bring that in. And then when you do your tweaking of the transmission lines, then we're all going to start getting that. Oh, wow. I thought of, everybody on the planet. Oh, I thought of somebody and the phone rang and it was them. Okay. Everybody has it. And we
Yeah.
think it's precognition. We think that we're aware of something that's going to happen. We don't think I created it by thinking of them and that made them pick up the phone and call me. They don't think that they're actually the creator. They're just seeing what's happened. What you're going to do is going to turn up more of the creator and then more of the awareness of being the creator.
Download it. Exactly. I got it. Makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. Okay, so when I'm going to Machu Picchu or Peru, Lake Titicaca, any sacred site, I just follow my intuition and inspiration. Um, there's nothing good or bad. There's nothing to do. You just do what is on calling. That being said, right now, as I'm walking around thinking, oh, my trip is next week, I get intuition to buy crystals. I get intuition of, oh, it'll be fun to offer this here, to plant this here. So I bought like $2,000 worth of crystals that I plan to just bury there or give away. So can someone tell me about the properties of crystals and the utilization of crystals for sacred site work,
Hmm.
besides the fun of it?
Hmm. Man, Darryl, you are just challenging me today. This is the third entity that I'm not familiar with that showed up. Boy, when you invited your team in, they came in, and fortunately, I didn't sleep much last night, so I'm wide open. And again, I don't know who or what. Uh, uh, what am I getting here? What am I getting here? Yes, they're galactics. Yes. Uh, I just can't place the planet. Okay, anyway, uh, but they're not really tied to that planet. It was so long ago. It's a whole different story. Anyway, ah, first of all, you understand the idea of making something sacred by offering. It's always about that. What you give is what you get. Always 100%. You know that, and you know the sacred of offering. Now, in these places, the cultures before did not understand offering, and they thought the most valuable thing they had that was their life, so they would do human sacrifice. And some people did it willingly and thought it was an honor, and other people just kind of got the wrong end of the sword. And so that is just
Yeah.
another energy as you do your clearing work that can just be uplifted. It is not a lot, but it is present and it is there. Now, you know that crystalline energy is a much more powerful offering because it's just not the incarnate of a body, but it is all the frequencies that can be stored. So when you expand your awareness and consciousness to all that is, you're open, you're wide. And people try to put that in words, and you have your great poets and your mystics, but it's always incomplete. It's always the story of the blind man touching the elephant. They all get different parts, and it's all their interpretations. The crystalline energy is much more complete. It is like an entire book, it is like an entire library for those who can open into it. So when you give a crystalline offering, it works both ways. If it's not full of information, then it receives the information and it will empower someone else who then picks it up. If it has information, then it has what it gives. But the information, although we like to think in our linear terms of the mind and the logic chain and this and that. And all your books are so organized and everything. You're understanding on Earth now the idea of a quantum computer that can look at all possible simulations and then give you an answer based on whatever is your circumstance in the moment. This is what a crystal holds. It is a quantum library of all that is. Many people on the planet, yourself included, even this channel to a more limited form, have gotten the ability of automatic knowing. They can just tap into the field and then know something. Some people organize it like it's a library, like they have to go look in a book, but that's just how they access information. What a crystal does is it can be used as a key or as a portable quantum field to be the all that is information. So this is why it is the highest bit of physicality, manifested physicality that can be made in an offering. One of Peter's teachers, uh, we will give him credit, the Ramtha, uh, taught that consciousness plus energy determines the nature of reality. The crystal is both consciousness and energy in very pure forms. So it is a physical piece of reality that holds massive amounts of information and consciousness. That is what is there. Now, having said that it is all expansive and everything, it also is a powerful amplifier for focus. So, of course, you know this. You are already doing it. You're going to bless all your crystals with your consciousness, with your intent, mainly with your joy.
Yeah. Infuse it in to the crystal. Yeah.
And now, then that becomes an amplifier along those frequencies. And this is very important. And this is part of what you're doing on planet Earth that you may not be fully aware of. You are one of the bridge beings, one of the beings that can take all the expansiveness and bring it into physicality. Earth is by design a free will planet. Nothing can be here unless it is permissioned. And that means it takes a person on the ground saying, yes, I want this reality. You are one of the bridge people who understand both that aspect of physicality and the all that is. So by you working with crystals, you are the most perfect position to imbue it with, now let's turn these into little pass keys. Let's turn these into permissions. Let's turn these into open channels of joy and the wonder of creation. And that, that is the activation more than any particular ritual that you choose to do at the time, although those are going to be beautiful as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to describe it as like we're making into a thumb drive of information that I can just give it to people and they can upload the information to their palm chakras. It's all fun. It's all spiritual woo-woo technology that I
This
just
is
love.
this is my jealous Peter talking, okay? All right. Can you save a small crystal from when you get there and mail it to me and just having haven't been there and have it
Oh, definitely. I'll
energized?
get one for you and one for Tracy.
Oh, God, that would be such a gift. I'm putting that on the altar right behind me. It's gonna go right there next to Mary Magdalene.
Definitely, definitely. So I now want to talk about because I talked about in my Peru trip, Machu Picchu, home of the throne of the dragons going forward. I have not talked about Lake Titicaca, which I hear is actually just as important. Lake Titicaca is like the navel of Gaia. It's where it's very important. And what I get for Lake Titicaca is that it's water. Water is storage of information. I also get that I go skinny dipping there, but all right. But there's something very sacred and important for me, for us to go to Lake Titicaca to activate, to do. Um, does anyone want to step forward and give me some hints or any suggestions? I know
Yeah.
water is key.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to talk Peter from experience. A long time ago, 2013, Tracy and I went on a Lee Carroll tour where we went to Lake Titicaca and we activated the node that was there, or the null, or whatever he calls them, and it was super trippy, the energetics of that.
Thanks for that prep work.
Yes. And many people have understood what you understand and they've been doing it in their ways. And what you're going to do is more expansive than all of them because it builds on that foundation. So now let's get into the channeled information
Okay.
and let's just talk, let the lake talk. This is something
Oh.
I've never channeled. I've never channeled a body of water before, but I've been preparing. I've been doing a lot of paddle boarding, and each week I talk to the water pixies and the whole energetics of the lake, my favorite lake. And so it's like, oh yeah, I can just talk to a lake. Let's talk to Lake Titicaca.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
All right, let me get into the vibe. Oh, Daryl, it is fun because we know you're coming, and not that we like do this in the earth sense that you do it, like, but we feel like there's a party and we're getting ready for it, even though we've been here for all of the parties and all the time. You are correct in what you call navel. If you look at these seven chakras as you on human bodies understand them. This is where the energy of creation flows into the planet. The Egyptian chakras or the Egyptian pyramids are more of the crown. The Machu Picchu is more of the root. Okay, and you have already heard from this channel and his sources about that information. And you're correct that this is more of the navel energy of where it comes into being birthed. Now, this automatically means there's a femininity here. Okay. Most people think it is the heart chakra that is the balance point between the masculine and the feminine, but we want to tell you about the importance of the navel solar plexus area chakra for this balancing, because it is only through the divine feminine that this creation can fall into place. Peter was correct when he said women open up space. We are the conduit, the portal to all of open space that then can manifest both masculine or feminine throughout the planet through the networks, your ley lines, your grid systems. They manifest through there. So we are this. Now, what does this mean for your coming? Yes, bathe in it, but can you do something more than bathe in it? Can we bathe in you? Take little
Yes, I know what you're saying. Go ahead and say
take
it.
little bits of the water. And this is more than just drinking it, but take little bits of the water and then use
Yeah.
that to seed other water with the frequency and then pass this freely. Then when you make your blessings, it is not just a tradition in your churches where they use water as part of the blessings. You understand what that energy is about: the washing, the cleansing, the uplifting, the opening. Can you connect to these waters? And we, as a navel chakra, are connected to all the waters on the planet, not physically as you would think, but it is more connected energetically than you realize. So we're asking you, and not only that you activate, plenty of people have been here and activated this, we're wide open. Right now, it is part of this reversal of bringing it into humanity ritually, if you can choose to, because this is a big ask, for just a moment connect into the consciousness of all humanity, connect into the physicality of all humanity, and then on their behalf, drink from me. Let it come in and let it work in your body on a cellular energetic level, all the way down to your mitochondria and your little your little cellules. Peter does not have the correct word for the small parts in your cells. Let it work in you and then hold that as a conduit for everyone else. Now, this is going to be asking a lot because it means feeling what they're holding that is going to be washed away, but only briefly for a moment. And if you care to, that is what we would invite you to do, is not just to bathe yourself in it, but to let you become embodied with us and on behalf of all humanity.
I'm all for that, and yes, let's do it. My only concern is this physical vessel. Can I drink there? I guess people go swimming there. They must drink it without getting sick, right?
We're not talking about drinking a lot. This is Peter. We're talking about a few drops under your tongue.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah. Okay, will do. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely yes. Um,
Yeah. And so let me just go. I had an experience of when I was at the lake. I was doing something with some cottonwood pollen to cure an allergy to it. And I just put it under my tongue and just literally held the intent: body, this is my friend now. This is the energy that we're connected to. And you can do that and that'll transmute whatever's there, that's whether it's safe or not. And then carry it a step further, not only body, but body as my connection to all of human body. This is our friend now.
yeah, yeah. And I'll explain to people humanity in a later time, but that's actually how you bilocate too, right? You also take the vibration of tasting it, and then you stamp in that data point so that you know that location, so that in the future you can bilocate to there. So Yes, I'm sorry. That's just a different
Oh,
topic.
cool. That's news for me. Thank you for teaching me that.
Yes. So when I was in the sarcophagus of the king's chamber, and I downloaded the seventh ray, and I bought sacred oil from Egypt, and then I took the seventh ray and I infused it into the sacred oil of Egypt that I got from Egypt. I am going to bring that sacred oil to Lake Titicaca and to Machu Picchu because what I get is I'm mixing various. I'm taking the violet ray with me to Lake Titicaca and infusing it there. I'm just doing alchemy. I'm taking different things, different violet rays, and I'm taking it to different locations, and I'm just mixing it together. That's a good idea, right? I mean, I think it sounds
So
fun.
this is Peter talking, and then we'll get a channeled answer, okay? So
Okay.
when Tracy and I did our Egypt tour, our friend who downloaded info from all the insides of the temples there where they had the aromas and the oils explained. She just downloaded all that. So she mixed us a batch. All right. And so we would go to each site, and outside each site, we would anoint ourselves and command that we be connected and receive. And then we would find some place in each temple and put a drop down. So now the connection was established between all these places and us. And we kept doing this and doing this. So now we have a little bit of this oil left. And of course, we use that as a base oil to mix there. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So my whole spirit team saying, yes, that's exactly what you want to do because this is my higher self talking now. What you are understanding is that the mixing of all the energies is the physical embodiment. All right. So it's not just this
Mhm.
chakra, that chakra. It's the whole human system in a flow. In this case, the whole planetary system in a flow. And your oils are a representation of it, both through intent, both through the energetics they carry, and more importantly, because of the connection that's infused from each of the places now held in those energies. So, yes, by all means, do this, anoint yourself with it, and then use it as a base seed oil to be more oil when you get home and and then all your practices that you choose to, it is a very important sacred part.
Excellent. Excellent. So my last question, of course, I am going to bring in the dragons because they've been waiting. I know they've been wanting to talk. So the thing is that my good friend Chris is coming, and he is the most beautiful voice of channeling dragons and the heart of dragons, and he is just a miracle that he's coming with me to Machu Picchu to the throne of the dragons. I got out of everyone on Earth, that's the person who I needed to get there for the dragons at Machu Picchu. Um, can someone say something about that topic?
Oh, Darryl, we are indeed the Dragon Collective, and it's not like we're impatient. We knew that your whole intention was to save the best for last. And we wish to laugh with you on this moment. Uh, you beautifully describe Machu Picchu as the seat, the throne of the dragon.
So,
And there was a time going all the way back when we were on the planet in humanity's first go around. And you have your myths of dragons and dragon riders and all the beautiful fantasy stories you tell now, that we were indeed inhabited of this place. Because, of course, of the energy has been spoken about. We knew the good stuff, we wanted it. And so that is where we resided. Now, we are not in the same place where we were, where it was about us. We understand now this is about humanity. And we
yes.
are honored and thrilled that you bring the people that we find most enjoyable, most connected and representative of what we do. because what you are doing is the bridge. You understand this. Humanity, it was always the plan for humanity to become the focal point, the vehicle of empowered creation, embodied creation. It was very carefully designed, what you call your body, through many iterations, through many adjustments, to have a physical being, a live organism that could hold these energies. So, yes, bringing the representatives are in human form that are aligned with us is quite critical. And we will be with you every step of the way. We will be infusing every step of the way. Your conscious intent and awareness allows that. And you know we love pomp and show. So if you care to do a little ceremony and just see us fly during one of your rituals, please do that because we will be there. And yes, we will swim in the lake with you.
You got, yeah, I had that. I was saying, I want some water dragons in Lake Titicaca. And so, yeah, you guys got that. Yeah, it's going to be a massive amount of fun. And definitely, we're going to look for you guys flying in the skies of Lake Titicaca. We're going to be looking for the earth dragons, the mineral dragons on the ground. We're going to be looking for the water dragons in the lake. We're going to be
Those of you
having
who
our
are
hearts on
energetically
fire.
sensitive, those of you who are energetically sensitive will know of our presence.
Yeah.
And we, because of the place you're at and because of your frequency as you do your awareness into the higher vibrations, you're going to start to see manifestations. We may or may not be able to get to the point where your machines can record those as far as photos, but we do know that you will have sightings. And it will be etheric at first, but that is where the level of humanity is at and the level of the Dragon Collective is at, that we can meet at that. And we look forward to this. And we just hope that you celebrate the moments when they occur. And like any good dragon sighting, you sing the songs and have the poetry of the experience.
Definitely, definitely. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Well, thank you all. Thank Peter. I love you guys all. And I'll see you in Peru.